See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Happy Sunday. Today is the first day that NASCAR is resuming operations since this COVID thing started. They're going to be racing around 3:30. So I'm kind of looking forward to watching that. And it's a beautiful day today, so I still can't stay home and do nothing. You know what I mean? I was going to wake up and try to get this engine started today, right? But then my friend Nick from Medford gave me a text and says he picked up another tractor and then he's taking the engine and he's dumping the rest to the street if I don't go and get it. So I really don't want trash tractors anymore, you know, because it just takes too long to fix for very little money. And while I usually can't say no, I actually said no to Nick the other day, you know. He had his Troy-built thing with a decent deck, but the deck wouldn't fit on my yard machines anyway, you know. And I didn't want to over-engineer everything to try to get it to work and fit and all that. So I just said, yeah, just dump it. I don't want it. It was really tough to do. But he showed me a picture of the thing that he got today. It's another yard machines, but it's the older one, you know. But it has a decent deck, wheels, seat. He's just taken the engine, you know. And so, I mean, that's more complete than this. You know what I mean? This doesn't have a deck, and I don't want to make another hauler, you know. While this tractor seems like it's okay, it doesn't have a deck, which completely defeats the purpose of fixing tractors because here in Long Island, if it doesn't mow, there's like 1% of people who would want a hauler. You know what I mean? So I know I'm going to end up getting like 3 or 4 haulers just sitting in my yard doing nothing, you know? And I'll end up just using those engines for lawn tractors that have decks, you know? So that's why I'm going to go to Nick's house and pick up a yard machines tractor with a deck. I'm going to bring him some Lucas oil products that he needs. Happy to do so because he hooks me up with all kinds of good stuff. You guys have seen a lot of my tractors that are given to me by Nick from Medford. It's just that it takes so long to get them going because they're in such rough shape, you know. While 2 years ago I would have said, oh yeah, give me anything. But, you know, not saying that I've progressed into something, but it's really just time, you know. I mean, I spent so much time on some of those tractors, you know. I really kind of drags the series on, you know. And some people like it, but honestly, it's wearing on me, you know. So, like something like this, while this tractor is not in terrible shape, really, it isn't, you know. But it has no deck. That's the biggest part of it, is that there's no deck, you know. I also found out that, you know, officially, because, you know, when I was picking this up, it's green, it's Scott's, I'm thinking it's from John Deere. But as you guys remember, when I noticed that the gas tank was identical to the Murray gas tank that I sold Elmer, I said, this is probably made by Murray, which means it can't be a John Deere. And then I looked carefully at the side panel. It says Scott's. Usually it says, if it's from John Deere, it'll say Scott's by John Deere. This just said Scott's. So I didn't notice that in the beginning. So this is a Murray, not a John Deere. So this is a Scott's by Murray. Still a decent tractor. Like I said, I had one before. When I commented on yesterday's video about how the gas pedal pushes forward and when you push the gas pedal backwards, it goes backwards, that just seemed like a hydrostatic kind of transmission to me, you know? So I looked on tractor data on this model number. So this was made in 1998, okay? Even though 98 doesn't show on the sticker, right? I did research on it on tractor data, and it says it's a 1998. What's very interesting about it also is that this actually has a 205 Peerless Tecumseh hydrostatic transmission. So that's another draw to this machine, is that it's a hydrostatic transmission, and that transmission's pretty reliable, you know? And if it doesn't whine or anything, it's a good hydrostatic transmission. So, I mean, it's not like I'm going to find a Scott's deck just laying around somewhere, you know? They're not that prevalent, you know? It's kind of hard to find, you know? So I don't know. I'm kind of weighing my options, but nevertheless, if Nick's going to give me a tractor without an engine, I have an engine, and that tractor has a good deck, how can I say I'm not going to do, and that tractor's not too bad either, So today, I don't think I'm going to have time to get done with this because when I get back from Nick from Medford's house, that NASCAR race is going to start, and I won't be able to do it. So it'll probably be a very short video today. Well, maybe not short because stuff always happens when I get to Nick's house. There's always something to talk about when you get over there, It'd be good to see Nick anyway. So I'm off to Medford, and we'll see what the day brings. So this battery's been charging overnight. Remember, this battery is 8 years in this tractor sitting on the side of that thing, side of that barn, So I'm going to disconnect it and then I'm going to check out the voltage right now and see what it's at. It should be over 13, So it should be 13 because it's been charging for like 24 hours. Yeah. So after charging it for that long, gosh, I'm not getting anything. 12.26. See, that's barely enough to even turn the starter, So not only does this not keep its charge, it definitely won't hold its charge no matter what happens, I mean, unless you did one of those battery fixes with distilled water and Epsom salts and baking soda and all that jazz, but for $25, I'm just going to use it as a core exchange. So I'm not going to charge this battery anymore. This battery is dusty! Off to Nick's house. So you're never going to believe this. I'm driving on the highway, right? And I'm about halfway there. All of a sudden, just driving, truck started to hesitate, I'm looking at my dashboard, all the lights go out. I can't even signal, there's no power whatsoever. Engine just dies. I'm coasting and coasting on the highway. I'm going, oh, please don't let me stop here in the middle of the highway and, me getting out and a car out of control and kills me, So I managed to coast off the highway, off the exit, coast right into a parking lot of a Holiday Inn. So at least, I'm parked like in this parking lot, So I feel safe at least that no car is going to kill me on the highway. But this is what happens on the dash. Alright, so look. I'm going to turn the key now. Ooh. That sounds like a battery to me, but it started fine this morning, So I'm going to have to pop the hood and check it out. Fun, fun, fun. See, I'm so lucky I managed to just park into a spot at a local Holiday Inn. If it was a Holiday Inn Express, maybe I'd get this fixed really easily. So that's the highway I just came off of, right? I was so fortunate to be able to coast into this parking lot, Ooh, look at that. Hi. So I'm looking at the connections here of my battery, and it's tight. There is a lot of corrosion here, but that shouldn't, that shouldn't affect it to, not continuously run. You know what I mean? Technically, even if you disconnected the entire battery while the engine was running, it would still run. You know what I mean? Just seems like a loss of power, though. And I have my winch battery in here. It's in pretty good shape. That has some voltage. Maybe I'll try taking that out, connect some, connect my jumper cables to it and see what happens.
If you go 3 exits or more away,
So Nick from Medford came over to the Holiday Inn and he's coming to help me. What a guy, huh? So listen, I have a feeling that the alternator's bad, right? And that it's not charging the battery. The thing is, though, I've driven, I don't know, like 10 exits or so.
Good.
See really?
Hey, you get 12 volts in the battery, look.
That's not good.
Yeah, I told you, it's something else.
No, it's 1207, which means that it's still not strong enough to start it.
Try to start it, let me see if it draws.
It definitely won't.
Close the hood slowly.
So Nick says that the alternator's busted. We'll see. So I've got Nick's jumper pack on here, and it's showing 12 volts. Engine's still running. Strange thing is my amps are at 18 now. Could that have been a momentary lapse in the alternator not charging, and maybe it's charging now? Because look, when I'm driving, it shows 12.2. When I'm sitting at the light, it goes down to 12. So I have a feeling the alternator is now charging the battery. It's really weird, man. But I'm glad Nick came over to pick me up. I mean, help me out, you know? That's him right there. I sure hope I can figure this out, because I'm gonna miss the NASCAR race now because of this. But I guess it's, you know, good that this happened to me now, because I was close to my friend Nick's house, right? And if anything happened, Nick could just come and help me, you know, which he did. But we'll see what happens. It seems like it's charging. I know, it's weird, man. So you ready for this? So I'm thinking to myself, right? If I just charge the battery up, maybe I'll make it home. Because remember, he is 40 minutes away on the highway, going like 70, 80 miles an hour, right? And so he's like, you're never going to make it home. You're going to need a new battery. Maybe a new battery will get you home, but you're not going to make it home, right? So I said, but I remember a long time ago, I could run my car and the battery, I could take the battery out and it would still run. As long as the engine was running, it was creating spark, and, you know, as long as I don't shut off the engine, I'd make it home. And he's like, did that car have a carburetor? I says, yeah. He goes, well, now with fuel injection, you need constant power, right? And if your alternator's not working, where are you going to get the power from? So even a new battery is no guarantee you're going to even make it home, right? So he says, the only way you're going to get home with this truck is you either tow it for $1 million, right? Or we change the alternator. I'm like, we're going to change the alternator in your driveway, like right now on a Sunday? So he just called like Advanced Auto Parts, right?
$80 an hour labor.
At this point, you know, I'll pay it. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be a 6-hour job now. Wait, hey, you're in charge of the bolts?
Wait, are you saying Advanced Auto Parts is where you're getting it?
Yeah.
So they have the alternator in stock on a Sunday. After we remove this, right, the core charge is $35 or $30, and the alternator is going to cost $190. So $190 for the alternator, which is complete bullshit, right? Because you know we can go on eBay and buy it for like $50, right? But of course, I don't have that option of waiting a week to get it, right? So Nick is kind enough to say, you know what? I'm going to do it for you in 40 minutes. I'm like, yeah, 40 minutes my butt. But either way, we're removing the fan. Not the fan. The
yeah, don't say that. We don't want to remove the fan.
No, the air box, mass air sensor wiring harness. And it looks like only 3, is it 3/8?
3/8.
So look at Nick, man. I mean, he says I was lucky that it's not 90 degrees out, right? And also he's pretty much done with his work today. And so
I don't have a choice now.
No, now you're into it. You talked me into this, so we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna do it. So it's only what, 3 3/8 you said?
Yeah, that's it. Ow, that fucking thing's hot.
Nick, you're in my shop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, look at that! He just removed the alternator just like that, even with his big giant hands.
Now we gotta take. And I ate half my McDonald's.
He ate half his McDonald's and he took it out. We're going to have this bench tested when we get there to see if it actually is bad. You know, honestly, it could just be the brushes.
reheat shrunk it back.
Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Hey, do you watch all my videos where I say, thanks, Nick?
Yes, yeah, I haven't watched in a while, to be honest. I've been going tractor nuts.
I'm saying, when you cut a wire, I says, I got this from Nick from Medford.
But look, it's all good now. It's heat shrunk back together.
Badass. Deck is good too, which is really rare for an MTD.
The deck is the belt's cut. All right, come on, grab that old for you.
Frozen. All right, off to the auto parts store. All right, so we're back. We went to AutoZone?
AutoZone.
AutoZone patch log, and it was 196 and change, then the $35 core charge. Came out to $146, whatever, or 49, something like that. That's not bad, actually. So we got it. We had to wait in line for about 20 minutes. We're back at his house, and he's just putting the 3/8 bolts in there, connecting the voltage regulator, the harness back to the voltage regulator again. We think that maybe it might just be the brushes, or it might have been the voltage regulator, or the whole thing was bad because the lady could not bench test it because it wasn't working or something. It's AutoZone, and it's not working. So we'll see if this works. If it works, it's great because I'll be able to get home. If not,
you're sleeping in the shed.
Sons of bitches. I'd have to call my wife. She's gonna love.
Ask permission.
She's gonna love driving to Medford.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be like,
Where are you, Medford?
And then,
What is that?
and then,
What is that?
then how would I get this damn van home anyway? You know? Look at this. Look at this. Literally 15 minutes. By the time we got by the time he had that new alternator in his hand, he had it in there, pulley on there, started up, checked the voltage, charging at 14.3 volts. I tell you, Nick really helped me out on this one, man. I'm gonna owe this dude big time. Changed my alternator in like 15 minutes. It's unfreaking believable, you know what I'm saying? So the van's good now. I'm gonna turn it around so I can load this Mama Gem in there. Like I said, this is the MTD Yard Machines tractor he got off of Facebook Marketplace for $15. That's right, he paid $15 for this thing. And the lady's husband passed away, so she was basically selling everything she had for $15, you know, including push mowers.
I think we blew up your gauge though, because it says 18.
No, it's been saying 18 along all the time.
Well, that's good. Now you go to 18. All gone. See it?
Wow.
Weird, right?
I've actually seen that before.
What is it?
It's
The valve seat came off and it started beating on the valve seat?
no, because you would see the marks of the valves, you know, the
The head
semicircle.
was clean, yeah, the head was clean.
That's messed up, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's
That's the
nothing.
motor right there.
That's nothing a new piston
I
won't
never seen
fix.
a 16.5.
So this engine came off of that. Got it for $15. Said it runs and everything.
Yep.
Good deal.
And I gave it to you for free, worked on your van, drove you around, wasted my gas. You had a good day today.
Yes, I did. And I owe Nick. I owe him.
You owe me a roadside assistance.
I definitely owe you. I want to show you guys something real quick. Before I came over here, I told him, listen, it's an MTD. So the MTD double stack pulley looks like this. It's shorter than a normal one. The top drive pulley is smaller in diameter than the other ones. The mower deck pulley is a specific size that only works with the MTDs, right? The key is this little spacer thing. Like the one that I had the other day, it actually was cupped a little bit more. But this is the spacer right here that goes, I don't know, either like that or like this. But without this spacer, you're not going to be able to attach it. This is very important. I guess they call it a flange or something like that, but I don't know, I'm thinking it goes like this. I don't know why they don't just make it with that thing on there, you know what I mean? But this is very important. You won't be able to mount this onto your engine, at least an MTD one, without this, because if you put another double stack pulley on here, right, the diameter is going to be different, the height's going to be different, and then your mower deck belt is not going to fit, you know, because the length of the belt is specific to this pulley. If you don't have this pulley with this flange, you're not going to be able to have your mower deck run right. That's it. So MTDs, this flange, very important. Of course, he doesn't want to mess with engines, so he just gave it to me. He's got another one over here too. You know, honestly, I don't even really want to mess with it, you know? Uh-oh. Battery light came on. So I'm home now, and I just put a multimeter to the battery while the engine was running, and it's showing 14.3 volts charging, so there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe the gauge is bad or something like that. So it's 3:30, and NASCAR's probably started by now. I'm going to unload this tomorrow and see what the day brings tomorrow. When I was driving to Nick's house this morning, somebody threw away a Mowers and Blowers chair. Scores! Well, what an adventure today. Definitely didn't expect that to happen, but thankfully Nick was there for me and really helped me out today. To change an alternator within 15 minutes is pretty amazing to me. I owe you, Nick. Thank you very much. And we'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.